Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of Introduction to World Religions. And this week we have 2 learning modules open. As you might guess, that means that there's a fair amount of work. Before we get into that, I want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, whenever you take a quiz, I review the quiz. Most quizzes have fill in the blank or essays. So I review every one of those questions and make sure that they are graded correctly. A lot of times there are alternative answers or spellings. The computer's not real good at catching things that are just a little bit different. So I review the quiz and adjust your scores as a consequence. Secondly, I want to remind you that the syllabus is live. So if you downloaded the syllabus, I might have made a couple of small changes to the syllabus. So go back to the overview and syllabus page and click on the link and make sure that you're looking at the most updated copy of the syllabus, so that you're not thinking that assignments are due or that maybe you have the wrong dates or something like that. So let's just keep everything on the same page. Now, what's happening this week? Well, there's 3 religions. Jainism, which is an ancient Indian religion that's devoted to ascetic practices. We already encountered asceticism with the Hindus. Jainism is extreme asceticism with people fasting until they die, sweeping the streets so as not to crush animals, very restricted eating and sleeping and other behaviors. So Jainism, very interesting, also very important religion, even though it's quite small. The second religion is Sikhism, quite different. This one is fairly recent, only about 500 years old. Sikhism is often known as a warrior religion, and the Sikhs also have a very strong presence in North America. And in fact, if you live in New Mexico, there is a very vibrant Sikh community in New Mexico. If you see people wearing the turban, the head wrap, those are Sikhs. Muslims and other groups are not required to wear the turbans, but the Sikhs are. So watch the videos on Sikhism and the video on the rise of the Sikhs, which talks about the American-born Sikhs and how that came to be. It might be a little bit surprising to you. Finally, there's Buddhism, one of the, the 3rd largest religion in the world? Yes, I believe so. So there's some long videos to watch with some of these learning modules. So give yourself time to watch the videos. There's the usual work that's due. There's a Jain and Sikh discussion and a Jain and Sikh quiz, and then there's a Buddhism discussion and a Buddhism quiz. In addition, there is the final test for all of the religions from India. So this is the Dharmic test. So go back and review and make sure you're ready. Look at your notes or review the lectures before you take the Dharmic test. Finally, there's 2 written assignments. The first written assignment is called Scripture Reading 1. And in this assignment, you're going to choose 1 out of 3 scriptures, read it, summarize it, and analyze it with some questions. But in addition, you're going to need to find some background information on the scripture. So your paper is going to actually have 2 sources. It's going to have the scripture itself, and then it's going to have an outside source, like an encyclopedia article or a blog post, which tells you sort of the history and the meaning of the scripture. That's important because a lot of times if you read a scripture from a tradition that's not your own, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So having the background information is very, very important. So make sure you look at the prompt carefully and understand it, and ask me questions if you need to before you submit the scripture reading. The second written assignment is called the Annotated Bibliography. And this assignment is sort of the starter for your book critique, which is a really big assignment that comes at the end of the semester. So for the annotated bibliography, you're going to choose 1 book off of the list, figure out what the themes of that book is. You don't have to buy the book or check it out of the library yet, but you will need to do that very soon early in July so that you can start working on your book critique. So just keep that in mind. Find a book that you can get access to. I have copies of some of the books on the list. So if you have trouble finding a copy, let me know and I might be able to get one to you. Okay? So first you'll choose a book off of the list that you're interested in reading. Secondly, you'll find out what the themes are. Write a very brief list of the themes. So for example, if you choose the book on or a book on Scientology, then the themes are history of Scientology, Scientology controversies, biography of L. Ron Hubbard, those sorts of things. So then you're going to go and find news articles or scholarly articles that cover those same themes. All right, and then you're going to list all of this in a document. I will make sure that I include an example annotated bibliography so that you can see what I'm looking for. And you can submit this as many times as you want. So the goal here is to get good background work for your paper, your book critique paper later. So you can get the 50 points. So don't hold off on this. Make sure that you start working on the annotated bibliography so that you can revise it. I will give you feedback after you submit it, and you can revise it and get the full 50 points. Okay? Very important stuff. Get started working on that, and I will be seeing you around shortly.